I was listening to a Joseph Goldstein talk a while ago, and in that talk he brought up a quote from a 17th century Zen master named Bankei, Bankei, and the quote was very simple. It just said, Bankei said, "Don't side with yourself." And there's so many ways we can understand that or use that. I found it just to be an incredibly useful statement. Such a short and pithy way of encouraging us to really focus on our own experience without moving into our own biases and justifications in particular ways that we see things. And it's not just, it's easy to kind of think about that statement in the realm of views and opinions. I think this is this way, or this political affiliation, or I believe these people are wrong, or that person shouldn't have said this to me, but just how we also side with our emotions, side with our particular feelings that we have, and we just think that's just how it is. If I have an emotion of fear, there's a real justification in that. There's a belief in it. We can be completely consumed by our experience of fear, and there's little we can do to kind of see that there's a possibility of being not afraid in that moment, or seeing that maybe this is coming from sort of false understanding or projection. When we're angry, this is a very easy emotion for us to just completely absolve any other potential except our own belief in our feeling or what we're experiencing. This is in the realm of wrongness. I've been wronged. I'm correct. The other person is wrong. And it's interesting that the statement was made, don't always side with yourself. Could seem like, well, there's sometimes we should side with ourselves. But the real essence of that is to see like the idea of siding, of putting a preferential treatment when we are likely coming from some sort of delusion in the way we're seeing things, some sort of distortion. It's just helpful to recalibrate ourselves, to kind of come back to center. It's a statement that says, okay, well, what is it I might not be seeing correctly? What is it I might not be understanding in a situation? And I was talking about the other day, one of the more important teachings of the Buddha is yoniso manasikara, and that's wise attention. It's a way that we can particularly pay attention to whatever it is we're seeing in a more balanced way. So it's seeing something like the example we might think of that's just permanent, like our bodies. We kind of can just think we're the same, or we sometimes don't identify changes, or we don't want to see changes. And I was thinking just with my mother's visit, my mom just left this morning, and there's a photo that I keep in the area of my shrine, and it's a photo of my mom and she must be in her mid-30s, and I'm about 5, 6, 7, something like that. And just looking at the photo, I can see my mother as that person I would project this experience on when I was a younger child, and I can think about her in ways as I'm growing up. And now that I'm seeing my mother, she's 82 years old, so that's almost 50 years later, and she's changed. Her personality's changed, and it's kind of, I can work with that and see, right, okay, this is a different person who I'm seeing. This isn't kind of my consideration like my mom. She doesn't change, but she obviously has. But then I kind of reflect back on myself and see, like, wow, that's so much harder to see. How have I changed? How has there really been a perception that I can carry that's so can be made clear that I'm just not the same person. And each day this perception of sameness comes up, it's very, very easy to see. At least that's my experience as I wake up. It's kind of the same thing each day. I'm the same person. And that perception is very helpful to work with as much as we can remind ourselves of it. So this sense of not siding with ourselves, it really has a lot to do with perception, how we experience the world, and how we do so without bringing up an intention or an effort to see, like, what's different, what's changing, what am I not seeing correctly, what am I creating in myself that is a permanence, that is something that is unchanging and is really false. So this can kind of rattle our cage a little bit. It can help us can be a good kind of kick on the side of the head or something, like really kind of rattle us if we're willing to work with that. But also recognizing that there's a challenge in that, because I think in my own experience, I see that there's a desire to not want to do that, to want to just kind of feel comfortable in that sameness, that sense that no, things really aren't changing. I'm the same person. So these are just some reflections. Just want to encourage people to take with them throughout the day, and when you can bring that statement up, just play with it, see how it's useful in your own experience, just not siding with yourself.